am I missing other nutritional benefits by avoiding lactose, or I guess in this case, by avoiding milk, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Let's jump in.
Well, Martin can still be drinking milk and have lactose-free. There's lactose-free milk.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, of course.
Yep. Okay, so first, being as specific as lactose, I just want to say it's just one of many sugars. So there's no harm in avoiding lactose. And frankly, a lot of people don't tolerate lactose very well. 3 million cases a year of lactose intolerance are diagnosed. And it can be argued that sometimes it's the lactose, sometimes it's the processing that takes place with the milk. This is why my interest in raw milk, not an endorsement, just an interest.
I'm going to restate that really quick.
Yeah.
We are not endorsing raw milk. It can be dangerous to your health.
Yeah.
That's it.
Especially, and for certain populations, it can kill you.
Sure. Oh, yeah, it can be very dangerous.
Yep.
And also don't confuse milk or lactose intolerance with a milk allergy, because the allergy is obviously more severe, as we just covered, and it's typically tied to the proteins in milk. Okay, so a lot of beneficial components of dairy, but a lot of substitutes for all those things. So I'm going to run down what is considered to be beneficial in milk or dairy products, and where you can find alternate substitutes for those.
Sweet. It's like a guide.
Yep.
Cool.
So first off, and probably most obviously, is calcium. A lot of ways to replace your calcium intake. Seeds are really good. Chia, poppy, sesame, celery. Canned fish like sardines and salmon, because you can actually eat the bones in them. So a lot of calcium in bones. Beans and lentils, winged beans, which I didn't know was another term for goa beans, white beans, nuts, in particular almonds, and then milk protein. You can have whey protein that's lactose free and contains calcium. Leafy greens, I think pretty much everyone's clear on this, but collard greens, spinach, kale, all contain certain amounts of calcium. And then random things like rhubarb, figs, edamame, amaranth, lots of sources of calcium. So a quick internet search and you'll have plenty of ways to cover that base. As far as the post-workout, carbohydrate protein composition, you can use a whey shake with an alternate sugar source, something that isn't lactose. Lactose is roughly 5% of the sugar content in milk, or the caloric content in milk, whereas chocolate milk is like 25 grams. I mean, they really jack up the sugar in chocolate milk, but it doesn't come from lactose. It's
delicious.
Typically something else.
Yeah.
Essential amino acids, milk has all of them. So does meat, poultry, seafood. Eggs, soy, quinoa, buckwheat. So if you're concerned with getting your EAAs, there are a lot of ways to do that. Vitamins, B vitamins. I mean, milk and B vitamins go hand in hand. Also vitamin C, all the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. It's really that simple. You don't even have to get too granular with it. Just make sure you have 3, 4, 5 servings of vegetables, fruits or vegetables, preferably vegetables, in your diet daily, and you'll cover that base as well.
Now, I'm going to go on a limb here. This may be controversial, but TrainerRoad endorses eating high amounts of fruits and vegetables.
We should run that by our lawyers first, but I think that's okay.
Well, anything in nutrition, someone's going to be like, hey, fruit's going to make you fat. There's too much fructose in it. I guarantee you.
Guaranteed forum explosion. It's going to happen.
I know, but I'm just, I don't.
That match.
There are some people.
He's just lighting it up right now.
Okay, there are some people who are going to be like, oh, you can't eat nightshades or something. Like, they will. I guarantee you.
I'm seeing you're just pouring gas.
But
right now.
I'm going to be very brave and say that we say eat lots of fruits and vegetables, especially as an endurance athlete. It's going to make you performance well and good health.
Yes.
Yep. Perform well and good health.
Okay, milk also contains trace minerals. Again, vegetables.
Yep.
Fruits, whatever. Okay, and then the last thing, and this one we dove into a little bit because Nate put it on my radar, it's CLA, so it's conjugated linoleic acid. I didn't realize that's what linoleic acid was. It's just a different form of it. So knew about it, didn't know much detail about it. I do now. So it's a fatty acid, found mostly in plant oils. It is an omega-6, but there are certain anti-inflammatory aspects of it that make it behave a little more like an omega-3. This doesn't fly in the face of recommendations to maintain, and they vary your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of 4-to-1, 2-to-1, 1-to-1, depending on who you're listening to and who you give your attention to. There are a few different opinions on it. But in any case, you should heavily favor your or greatly reduce your intake of omega-6s relative to
omega-3
your 3s in terms of an American diet. We're terrible about that.
We talked about supplements before, and that was the one that I forgot, omega-3. like fish oil supplement. That is one that I take every day, and I think that's another one we can recommend.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously? Okay. Okay. I'm not saying
Just sprinkling.
I'm not saying anything.
You turned on the sprinkler. It's going like crazy.
CLA is found mostly in meat and dairy from ruminant animals. So ruminant animals, multi-stomach, these are animals that can actually process grasses, things that we can't. I mean, things that the fiber we can't digest, they can because they have numerous stomachs.
Can you imagine, Nate, if you had numerous stomachs, how much Nate would eat? If he had more than one, it'd be amazing.
Just watch Nate chewing his cud throughout the podcast. Not so into that. Okay, so let's get to the claims, the CLA claims, a lot of them. Builds muscle, burns fat, anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, immunity enhancing, reduces risk of diabetes, increases sensitivity to insulin, lowers blood sugar, improves calcium absorption and therefore bone density. A lot of things, and there's actually a fair amount of science to back these things up. So in terms of its fat burning capabilities, an obesity review, or a journal called the Obesity Review, the British Journal of Nutrition, but they both back that up. But there was a meta-analysis by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition that gave it inconsistent results. So at worst, inconsistent. In terms of enhancing the immune system, that same American Journal of Clinical Nutrition did back that up in one way or another. University of Massachusetts Data Review, Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry as well. They all support that. And then the anti-carcinogenic, just random publications. I mean, you just get on PubMed. You'll find a lot of things that point to anti-carcinogenic aspects of conjugated linoleic acid. And then in terms of the diabetes, that actually kind of goes the other way. So that most of the research I found on that said quite the opposite, that it's not favorable in terms of reducing your likelihood of diabetes. And then calcium absorption and bone density, Journal of Cell Physiology had some strong support for that.
Interesting. So CLA verdict?
So far, so good. In terms of endurance benefit, most of the studies I found were done in mice. And I know you can't directly extrapolate animal studies to human studies, but it does inspire research. It makes us think, well, we share a lot of our genomic or a lot of our genotype with mice, so let's do this. So they have done certain human trials. 2015, they did a double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized controlled trial, 8 weeks, 80 non-trained young male students. In terms of lipid effect, there was no significant effect on VO2 max, time to exhaustion, BMI, weight, but it did increase fat burning. So there is support.
It's a great time to be a mouse.
Yeah.
They cured everything.
But like I said, they steer us in particular directions. They make us recognize which areas might be worth further interest in actual research.
Of course.
That same journal, don't even remember which one it was, said a 2012 study enhanced endurance capacity due to increased fatty acid oxidation. So I mean, you just burn more fat. CLA helps you burn more fat, which means helps you spare a bit of glycogen, right? You're just shifting fuel sources. Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research did a 6-week study, backed this up as well. And then all these were supplementary studies, so they have to supplement it to measure it. So we're not talking what you would just get dietarily, through dairy intake or alternate.
They're isolating it and somehow ingesting
Take a pill.
Yeah, exactly. So keep that in mind. And then also there was a 2013 PLOS One study that linked CLA to plus endurance exercise to increased testosterone biosynthesis. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And PLOS One also noted that when you combine creatine with CLA, they saw improved strength and body composition in men and women over the age of 65, so older adults.
More than just creatine, because creatine
who knows?
Does that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So worth looking into.
So CLA, it's in milk.
It's in dairy, basically,
Sure.
but there are...
Yeah, where else can we get it, I guess is the point.
Basically grass-fed meats, really. And if you can't tolerate dairy, then grass-fed dairy too. But that grass-fed is a big deal. You can't feed them grains and expect to get these CLA benefits.
Or you can buy a pill too. That's
Apparently.
like in these studies, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. And it's also worth
It doesn't
saying,
appear to be harmful either. Nothing I came across.
right. When we focus in on one component of something that's contained within a food source or something like that, it's not as if that one component only resides there and it can't be found in other foods, and that's like an important thing for people to.
And it's not
like
to say,
if you did this, like I sometimes I think about like the cyclist that doesn't look deep into it, but they heard that like tart cherry juice, and they heard that like red meat has this one benefit, and they heard that a leaf from some rainforest has this, and then they're just like taking it all in, right? And it's the fact is all of our food, if it's a natural food source, it's going to have a whole variety of many different things that we can take in. And really, we're just looking into individual components. It doesn't mean that these are like, this is your missing link from you going to 6 watts per kilo.
You can't weed out a single, magic pill and expect it to have some incredible performance on.
This is all steroids, EPO, HGH. There are some magic pills out there. And they are banned in competition.
Legally.
But yeah, there are magic pills out there.
Legally then.
And injections, yeah.
There's
no, as far as water, the only magic,
legal.
Water, carbohydrates. Those are like the magic pills.
Bread and water, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Chad, thank you for giving us all the alternatives. That's cool.
So a lot of good stuff in dairy, but a lot of ways to get those very same things in other foods.
Yeah, awesome. If you like this video, you should subscribe to our channel. Maybe even give this video a like with a thumbs up and a comment down below.
If you want to see race analysis videos, you can click on it right over here. And if you want to get your coaching questions answered, you can click on it right over here.
And if you want to become a faster cyclist, which you should go over to TrainerRoad.com. It'll make you faster. We promise. We guarantee it, right, Nate?
Guaranteed. Or your money back.
Yes, it's true, actually. We really will do that.
Yeah.